Look around you. The world hums, a vast machine of distraction and comfort. But look deeper. See the eyes, hollowed by screens, glazed by routine, flickering with a low-grade panic they dare not name. See the shoulders, hunched not just under physical weight, but under the crushing gravity of unspoken apologies, unlived dreams, compromises etched bone deep. This is the landscape sculpted by the weakness within. It's not poverty. It's not bad luck. It's the quiet, persistent erosion of your own spirit. The slow, cowardly surrender to the herd's bleating morality, to the comfortable lie that safety is life's highest prize. You feel it, don't you? That gnawing hollowness beneath the surface noise. That's the echo chamber of your own retreat. Your will, your magnificent, terrifying potential, buried alive beneath layers of should, can't, and maybe tomorrow. This isn't living. This is waiting for permission to die. And the jailer, he sits inside your own skull. His name is fear. His weapon is your consent. But what if the bars were always an illusion? What if the chains were forged not by circumstance, but by a choice you forgot you made? What if the key to the deepest, most exhilarating freedom imaginable lies not in conquering mountains, but in conquering the trembling coward within? This is the battleground, not out there, in here. And the war, it begins now. Forget the easy answers. Forget the hollow affirmations plastered like cheap wallpaper over the cracks in your soul. We are not here for comfort. We are here for truth. And the first truth, the one that shatters illusions like a hammer blow, is this: you are not a victim of the world. You are the architect of your own prison. Every flinch from discomfort, every stifled cry of dissent, every dream deferred because the crowd might mock. These are not accidents. They are choices, acts of self-betrayal, bricks mortared with the weak cement of conformity. You traded the dizzying heights of your potential for the flat, stale air of security. You inherited, like a poisoned chalice, the morality of the slave, praising humility when you craved mastery, glorifying suffering when you could be forging strength, worshipping a god of pity when you should be becoming your own god. Nietzsche saw it with brutal clarity. The surest way to corrupt a youth is to instruct him to hold in higher esteem those who think alike than those who think differently. Look at your idols. Are they giants who dared to stand alone, like Edison in his 10,000 failures before the light? Or are they pale reflections of the crowd's approval? The herd whispers, "Be humble, be safe, be small." And you listened. You built your life on this shifting sand of other people's expectations, and now you wonder why the foundations crumble. This is the sickness, this acceptance of mediocrity as destiny. This is the weakness within, festering. But hear this, within that festering weakness lies the seed of your greatest power. The recognition of your cowardice is the first, blinding flash of lightning on a dark horizon. It is pain, yes, agony even, to look into the abyss of your own retreats and see the monster you've become, the domesticated beast, claws filed down, spirit caged. This confrontation is not despair, it is the birth pang of the Overman. That is the being you must strive towards. Not a superhuman in capes, but the human who has overcome itself, its fears, its herd instincts, its comfortable lies. Man is a rope stretched between the animal and the Overman, a rope over an abyss. You stand on that rope. Beneath you yawns the void of meaninglessness, of wasted potential. Behind you, the warm, dumb comfort of the herd animal. Ahead, only the terrifying, exhilarating possibility of becoming something more. The tightrope walk demands every ounce of focus, every shred of courage. One misstep, one glance backward towards safety, and you plunge into the abyss of your own regret. But to cross, to become the creator of your own values, the sculptor of your own soul, that is the only victory worth bleeding for. Remember Lincoln, weathering the storm of civil war, despised by half the nation, clinging not to popularity, but to his own terrifying conviction of what must be done. He stared into the abyss of a fractured nation and did not blink. He walked the rope. That is the mindset. Not optimism, not hope, but will. A will forged in the furnace of self-awareness, hardened by the acceptance of struggle as the very condition of growth. Churchill understood this in Britain's darkest hour. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Courage born from staring your weakness in the eye and saying, "You will not define me." This will demand a vision, not a flimsy daydream, but a command etched onto your future. The herd lives in the perpetual twilight of reaction, buffeted by circumstance, defined by others. The Overman creates his horizon. What is the mountain you must climb? Not the one society points to. Yours, the one that makes your heart pound with dread and desire. What is the masterpiece you are here to carve from the raw, chaotic marble of existence? Ford didn't dream of faster horses. He envisioned a machine that would reshape the world. Disney didn't see cartoons. He saw entire worlds of wonder spun from ink and belief. They possessed a granite clarity about their destination, a clarity that cut through the fog of doubt and the cacophony of naysayers. Nietzsche proclaimed, "He who has a why to live for can bear almost any how." Your why is your North Star in the storm. It is not found in the murmur of the crowd. It is forged in the silent crucible of your deepest, most terrifying longing. It demands brutal honesty. Why do you really want it? Is it for applause? For security? Then it is still the herd whispering. Or is it because the very thought of not striving for it feels like a slow spiritual death? Is it because this purpose resonates with the core of what you are, what you must become? Oprah didn't escape poverty and abuse by wishing for comfort. She was driven by a profound need to give voice, to connect, to transmute her pain into power, a purpose that became an unstoppable force. Clarity is the scalpel that cuts away the parasitic doubts. It transforms the abstract yearning into a tangible target. See it, feel its texture, taste its victory. Let it burn so brightly in your mind's eye that the shadows of weakness retreat, whimpering. This vision is your compass. It will guide you when the path vanishes in fog, when the weakness within screams for surrender. It is the map drawn in your own blood and fire. Vision without discipline is a hallucination. Purpose without the relentless chisel of daily action is a tombstone for a life unlived. Here is where the herd scatters, whimpering about balance and self-care. Euphemisms for retreat. The Overman understands. Discipline is not punishment. It is the highest form of self-respect. It is love made visible in action. It is the sculptor's hand, steady and unflinching, chipping away the excess stone to reveal the God within the marble. Every time you choose the difficult task over the easy distraction, you strike a blow against the weakness within. Every time you rise before dawn, like Marcus Aurelius contemplating the duties of an emperor while others slept, you defy the gravity of lethargy. Every time you push your body beyond its whining limits, you are not just building muscle, you are forging will. Spartan warriors weren't born invincible. They were forged in the relentless, brutal furnace of daily discipline, transforming fear into an unbreakable phalanx. Pain is not the enemy, it is the instrument. Nietzsche saw it. What does not kill me makes me stronger, but it only makes you stronger if you lean into it, if you use the resistance as the whetstone for your spirit. Carnegie clawed his way from poverty through relentless study and disciplined self-improvement, turning every rejection into fuel. Jung plunged into the terrifying depths of the unconscious, disciplined in his observation, mapping the very shadows most flee from. This is the alchemy, transforming the base metal of discomfort into the gold of strength. Your daily rituals are your boot camp for the soul. The 5 a.m. alarm is your reveille against complacency. The cold shower is your baptism in resolve. The focused work, hour after hour, while the world scrolls and gossips, is your declaration of war on mediocrity. This is where the will to power manifests, not as domination over others, but as the absolute mastery over your own impulses, your own laziness, your own pathetic excuses. It is the relentless hammer, shaping you on the anvil of now. Action, the crucible where vision and discipline ignite. not tomorrow, not when the stars align. Now, the weakness within thrives on delay. It whispers sweet poison, prepare more, learn more, wait for the perfect moment. It is a liar. The perfect moment is a myth peddled by cowards. The only moment that holds power is this one, the leap into the unknown, the first stroke of the chisel, the first step onto the tightrope. That is where the transformation begins, not in comfort, not in certainty, but in the doing. Ford didn't wait for perfect roads. He built the Model T and forced the world to catch up. Edison didn't wait for a theory of electricity. He tested filaments through thousands of failures. Action is the antidote to fear. It burns away the paralyzing fog of what if, with the fierce heat of what is. It forces the universe to respond. It creates momentum, however small. Remember Wayne Dyer's insight. Don't die with your music still in you. That music isn't played in the safe rehearsal room of your mind. It's played on the stage of action, risking wrong notes, risking failure, risking ridicule. Every action, however small, is a vote cast for your future self. It is a declaration. I am here. I am alive. I will. The weakness within recoils from action because action demands courage. It demands vulnerability. It demands that you step out of the herd's protective shadow and stand naked before your own potential for greatness or failure. But failure is not the opposite of success. It is its raw material. Lincoln lost elections, faced bankruptcy, endured devastating personal losses. His path was littered with the debris of failure. But he acted, he persisted, he learned, he adapted. His monument wasn't built on unbroken success. It was built on the relentless application of will through continuous, often painful, action. Stagnation is the breeding ground of the weak spirit. Movement, however imperfect, is the forge of the strong. And what are the storms? They will come. The market crashes, relationships fracture, health falters, the world throws its jagged stones, the herd shatters under this pressure, dissolving into blame, victimhood, and despair. This is the ultimate test. This is where the metal of your newfound strength is truly assayed. Resilience is not the absence of pain, it is the mastery of it. It is the ship battered by hurricane winds, its sails torn, yet holding its course because its rudder, your core, your why, is unbreakable. Nietzsche, plagued by illness and isolation, wrote, "From life's school of war, what does not kill me makes me stronger." This is not a passive hope, it is an active demand to extract meaning from suffering, to use the hammer blows of fate, not to shatter you, but to reshape you, to learn, to adapt. Jung spoke of integrating the shadow, the dark, rejected parts of ourselves. True resilience demands this. When adversity strikes, the weakness within screams its old lies. Resilience forces you to look that weakness in the eye, acknowledge its presence, understand its source, and then use its energy. The fear becomes focus, the anger becomes fuel, the despair becomes the depth from which compassion for yourself and others can truly grow. Look at Mandela, 27 years in prison. Did he break? He transformed. He used the crucible of confinement to forge an unshakable resolve and a vision for reconciliation that seemed impossible. He stared into the abyss of bitterness and chose, consciously, painfully, to climb out bearing light, not darkness. Adaptability is the warrior's dance. Rigid trees snap in the storm. The bamboo bends and survives. Your plan will fail. Your path will be blocked. The Overman doesn't rage futilely against the mountain. He finds the pass. He cuts a new trail. He climbs. Ford faced bankruptcy, production failures, lawsuits. He adapted. He innovated. He pushed forward. Your ability to pivot, to learn from the blow, to reassess without losing sight of your North Star. This is the mark of a spirit that has broken free from the brittle fragility of the weak. It understands that the obstacle is the way, the storm is the training ground, the fall is the preparation for a higher rise. Gratitude, but not the saccharine, passive thanks for comforts received. This is the gratitude of the warrior who kisses the sword that cut him, for it taught him his strength. The gratitude of the sculptor who blesses the hard stone, for it challenges him to greatness. The gratitude of the Overman who says yes to life, to all of it, the ecstasy and the agony. Nietzsche called it Amor Fati, the love of fate. My formula for greatness in a human being is Amor Fati, that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity, not merely bear what is necessary, still less conceal it, but love it. This is the ultimate defiance of the weakness within. The weak curse their fate, resent their struggles, see themselves as cheated. The strong embrace the struggle as the necessary fire. They find gratitude not despite the pain, but for the strength it forces them to cultivate. They see the betrayal as the lesson in discernment, the loss as the space cleared for something new, the failure as the indispensable teacher. This is not denial. It is profound, radical acceptance turned into fuel. It is acknowledging the darkness while choosing to focus on the spark within you that the darkness cannot extinguish. It is the perspective of the eagle, soaring above the battlefield, seeing the grand pattern, the necessary struggles that forge empires and souls. Wayne Dyer touched this. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. Shift your gaze from what was taken to what was revealed within you by the taking. Find gratitude for the resilience you discovered, the clarity forged in loss, the discipline born of necessity, the fierce love for life that only blooms when you've stared into the void. This gratitude is power. It dissolves resentment, the poison of the weak spirit. It anchors you in the present, the only place where action is possible. It fills you with a fierce, quiet joy that no external circumstance can steal. It is the deep breath before the final ascent. This path, this relentless overcoming, this forging of the Overman, is not a destination. It is a direction, a perpetual becoming. Become who you are, Nietzsche implored. Not who you were told to be, not who the world expects, but the fullest, most potent, most terrifyingly authentic expression of the unique will that burns within you. It demands everything. It promises not ease but meaning, not safety but sovereignty. It asks you to stare into the abyss of your own potential and not flinch, to take the hammer of your will to the idols of conformity, comfort, and cowardice that litter your inner landscape and shatter them, to build your own altar to strength, to courage, to creation. The weakness within is not your enemy to be hated. It is the shadow to be integrated, the raw material to be transformed. It is the inertia overcome by your momentum, the fear dissolved by your action, the doubt silenced by your roaring yes to life. Look down at your hands. They are not the hands of a victim. They are the hands of a creator, a warrior, a sculptor of destiny. Feel the fire in your chest. That is not anxiety. That is your will to power, your fundamental drive to grow, to overcome, to become. Stop waiting for permission. Stop apologizing for your strength. Stop feeding the coward within with excuses and distractions. The world does not need more comfortable sleepwalkers. It needs those who dare to be awake, who dare to burn brightly, fiercely, unapologetically, who dare to break free. The chains are papier-mâché. The cage door is open. The only thing holding you back is your own trembling hand on the latch. Let go. Step forward, into the storm, into the struggle, into the glorious, terrifying freedom of your own becoming. The mountain awaits. The chisel is in your hand. The fire is in your soul. Break free. Now, become who you are.